Hello and welcome to Leaderboard's Executive Edition on the Commodore 64, and this is if you don't include the sort of expansion for the original Leaderboard, this is the first full-on sequel to Leaderboards, and it came out about a year later. And I've already reviewed Leaderboards and gave that a thumbs up. And let's take a look at this. Now this comes with two courses. I'm going to play with course B at the moment. I might switch that later. So the game is not a multi-load, but you could load in which course. There's only two courses and you can decide which one you wanted to load in, if I remember, on cassette anyway. On the version I've got here, the disc version, you can switch between them quite easily. But I do remember the cassette version, it was a separate load. And like the original game, you can pick professional, amateur or novice. Novice means there's no wind and there's no hook or slice on the ball. Amateur means there's no wind, and professional means you've got wind and hook or slice. We'll play amateur. And we'll play 18 holes. We're not going to play 18 holes, don't worry. So you can see right away, I think, that there's a new addition. And this time the game has trees and bunkers. And it's also got a nice little city in the horizon there. But apart from that, the game does actually play identical to the original Leaderboards. And it looks fairly similar. It uses the same technique to render each hole or each display, and the controls are identical, so you can pick your club with up and down, move left and right to aim, and there is a wind meter, but we're not playing professional, so we don't care about the wind too much. And all we do is hold down fire for as much power as we want. So if we hold it down till the bar goes all the way to the top, we have maximum power. Then we have to press fire again as close as we can to the horizontal line that divides the snap meter. If you don't get it exactly in the middle, then the ball will go left or right depending on how close you were. So let's get started. So we're going to use the one wood, the driver, because the ball's 350 and there's no caddy like the first game, so you have to learn the club distances, so it's quite a good way to sort of learn golf a little bit. The manual did come with a list of how far each club would reach. It didn't take too long to memorise it, but I remember a few, and I tend to just stick with the clubs that I like. So here we go. Oh, and that was a terrible shot, it's gone well right. Out of bounds, so let's try again. That's better. Yeah, I'm a little bit rusty. So you can see the game's got exactly the same animation, which is fine because the animation was brilliant in the first game. And the same with the sound effects, are quite sparse, but again they were spot on in the first game. Why would you want to change them? Yeah, I'm really quite rusty at this. If you're not very good at getting the snap spot on, you're better sticking it at novice level, where the ball will always go straight exactly where you aim it, and all you have to do is worry about the power and selecting the right club, of course. So the little marker on the ground is telling me that the ball is going to roll to the left and it's downhill, so I don't want to give it too much power. And the meter on the right is in 8 feet increments, so that'll probably be enough, I guess. It's going to roll. Yes, just got it in. Wasn't bad. Okay, and now you can see one of the other differences from the original game. This time, in the original game, it took place on a series of, each hole was a series of little islands, but this time you can see that it takes place on, well, the last hole was on islands, but this time you can see there's land as well. It's landlocked, this hole. Quite a tricky hole actually. What I'll try and do is cover around. the wrong way. So it bounds. Nope. It's probably put a big tree in front of it. That's not too bad. So I think in general the graphics they are a little better because it's got the extra features like the trees and the bunkers. There we go, a spot on exact shot for once. That wasn't too bad. Oh, hit the pole. Always like that sound effect when it hits the pole, sounds really good. Oh, too hard. Oh, it's a terrible putt. So this time it's telling us that the ball's now uphill. Well, I'm holding my own here. So that's pretty much all the additions that are in the game. There's nothing particularly new in Leaderboard. If you had the original game, it came with 4 courses, and the tournament edition expanded. You got another 4 courses. So if you played those to death, which would seem pretty unlikely to be honest, but if you had played them to death, this would be well worth your money, I think. It's certainly different enough to justify the extra price tag, I think, for a full price game, which this was. I think the expansion was roughly half price. Yeah, so the graphics and sounds are just as good as the first game, and the gameplay is just as good as well. Can't really fault it. It's one of the best sports games on the C64. Obviously, if you don't like golf, then you're probably not going to like this, but I mean, I'm rubbish at real golf, I can't play it to save myself, but I always quite like playing golf games, and this is always one of my favourite ones. There's just something about it that it's just so much fun to play. Okay, here we go. This looks like a fairly easy hole. Oh, with a bit more power I might have got that a hole in one. Just needed a better club. 9 iron would have got me there. To be honest, I think the bunkers don't make too much difference. They tend just to slow the ball down, but I don't think it's particularly hard to get out of them if I remember. I'll try and deliberately try and get this in the bunker, which I think I might. I don't think it's particularly hard to get out of the bunker. Oh yeah, okay. I stand corrected. So I was just trying to whack that out there, but obviously I've got to just get it out first. Let's go back to the pitch and wedge. I don't think there's a sand wedge. No. There we go. Right, so that's Leaderboard Executive Edition for you. Just as good as the original game. Maybe a little better, but obviously there's only 2 courses. But just as much fun to play as the original game was. So I'll give this 9 out of 10, and see you in the next video.